Here are the 4 stages of understanding and holistically mastering stress completely. People seek happiness outside of themselves. They look for joy, love, contentment, satisfaction, call it what you will, outside of themselves, as if by changing something outside, all will be well. But they're looking in the wrong place, because joy, happiness, connection to life, connection to each other, connection to universal intelligence, God, or however you wish to name absolute love, all happens inside and not outside. So here, somewhat simplistically, are the 4 stages by which we come to manage tension and stress and learn to truly live calmly and at peace, rather than to just exist frantically looking for the next fix. So the first stage we go through is victim consciousness, and we've all been there. Here we're living on the surface of reality, disconnected to everything and everybody. We think everything's wrong, everything's someone else's fault. We're living from ego, we're frightened, we're angry, we're resentful, we're into the blame game. And because we're not dealing with our tensions and our stresses, we just project them onto others. It's pretty horrible. Ironically enough, if we're lucky, we experience some sort of breakdown. It can be mental, nervous, or a disaster, which paradoxically opens the door to the second stage. Because we're so dejected by our current conditions, so fed up with our current existence, so much in despair about what's happening to us, we're actually opening ourselves up to welcoming help with humility and the willingness to learn. Ego and humility can't coexist. Subjugating ego allows the next stage to be accessed. This is the way to recovery. The second stage is called victor consciousness. This is the recovery program. This is the rehab center. Here we begin to take charge of ourselves and our life, and we begin to regain our power. We start to take responsibility for our actions rather than blame everyone and everything else for them. We read self-help books, we get therapy and a good coach, and that can be extremely important. This is where we start to learn that everything, and I mean everything that happens to us, is our responsibility. This is where the law of cause and effect gets played out. Our thoughts, our emotions, our actions have led us to where we are right now. It's up to us to fix things. We tend to start by taking care of our physical body, and then gradually we attend to our mind, to our psychology, to our thoughts and beliefs. And we come to realize that there's still something missing. The first 2 stages are all about me. We're uncomfortable about the fact that while we're better than we were, we're still not really whole. And yet we don't really know exactly what's troubling us. The thing that's missing is connection, depth of awareness, real presence. We're still floating on the surface. The added complication is that all the qualities that we needed, energy, desire, motivation, to get from victim to victor, which acquired a high element of ego, are of no use in getting us to stage 3. In fact, they are counterproductive. So this is rather difficult to understand. When we were in victim mode, we were fighting the world. Everything was outside. When we're in victor mode, we're still competing, but we're competing with ourselves. Moving to stage 3 is something we cannot do ourselves by force of will or ego. And yet the more we seek to do it, the more remote it will become. Because the third stage is not something we get or attain by our own will. It's something that happens when we go beyond ego to life. And life will give it all to us when we're ready. This is where we learn and truly absorb the notion that getting is actually ego, whereas giving is receiving. We don't get to the third stage. You give it, and by giving it, you receive it. The third stage is awareness consciousness. Accessing this stage requires active surrender, the active acceptance of life in all its forms. Actively surrendering means accepting responsibility for everything that happens in life, welcoming and embracing it intimately. It means recognizing that we're all connected and one. And from this place of calm and peace, this place of acceptance and kindness, life will tell us what decisions we need to take and how to take them. Intuition takes over from intellect. This awareness of life provides us with all the objectivity, detachment, and gratitude we need to live life to the full. It provides us with a depth of knowing that guides us. We then learn to trust our instincts, to do what's right. And it's a much better guide than our own ego-derived thoughts. When we're ready, and only when we're ready, we enter stage 3 naturally. Developing this depth means being self-aware, knowing who we are. It usually requires a little bit of time in stillness. There's an important role here for meditation, although maybe quiet contemplation might be a better term. And from stage 3, we naturally transcend in time to stage 4. Stage 4 is awakened consciousness, when we realize that life is it. You are it. You are the universe. You are creating that universe every single day. Nothing around you can exist without you creating it. The way you view and respond to the world determines everything. If you want it to be stressful, you can. But equally, if you want it to be calm and peaceful, you have the means to do that too. It's up to you. In Hindu mythology, and in the Upanishads in particular, this is referred to as Tat Samasi, thou art that. The Zen sage Dogen says, when we discover that the truth is already in us, we are all at once our original selves. In the Bible, we learn the phrase, I am that I am. And the Taoist Lao Tzu writes, those who flow as life flows need no other force. Those are just some thoughts about how to master stress in a holistic and practical way. And there are 4 stages that we can all access.